Yeah.
There goes the
They were all,
sound that you heard. It's very low, isn't it? I feel like with my little comfy couch.
at least my arms are out wide today.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Board of Education on Tuesday, March 10th. The time is now 6:31 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved, Mr. Morrissey.
Mr. Garcia, do we have a second? Mr. Pescarella, all in favor?
6 and 7, I'm sorry, 5 in favor, motion passed. Executive session, 6:31.
Mr. Rudy, I make a motion to reconvene the closed session.
Do I have someone to second? Mr. Howard, all in favor?
7 in favor, motion passes.
Okay, everyone rise for the pledge, please. Pledge
Allegiance
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Muscarella for superintendent's comments.
Good evening, welcome to our March 10th meeting. It seems like just 2 weeks ago there was a snowstorm and now it's spring, so I hope everybody's enjoying the lovely weather. Let me get this one. Here we go. All right, a bunch of things that happened. We had under academic excellence and national recognition, we had national merit finalists. We're incredibly proud to announce that Francesco Martinez has been named a finalist in the 2026 National Merit Scholarship Program. This distinction places Francesco in the top 1% of the high school seniors nationwide. His success is a testament to his personal rigor and the strength of our K through 12 instructional programs. In STREAM innovation, preparations are underway for a district-wide STREAM night on May 19th, which is the budget vote, I believe. As well. This event bridges pre-K through grade 8, fostering a vertical culture of inquiry in science, technology, research, engineering, arts, and math. STREAM, secret. Robotics, we had the Plain Edge Middle School robotics team concluded their season with a stellar 4th place overall finish at the championship level, bringing home the Rising Star Award and an invitation to the premier events. They're very excited about that. In our fine and performing arts, which are really amazing, I will say we ended February with probably the best event I've been to in my entire life. It was the Best Buddies fashion show, and the room was packed with people. The energy in the room was palpable. It was amazing. It really was. The music was great. Mrs. Naomi Nee and Miss Lorena Amato, who are phys ed teachers, and Amy Bernard, who's a speech therapist, work with the Best Buddies. And besides just being a lot of fun, it's the most touching thing that I've ever seen. That we have our students here that are buddies with our students with special needs, and they treat them just like everybody else. And it really, I can't say enough about it. Everybody told me, oh, you're going to love it. It's going to be the best night. It really was. I took my husband, I made it act like I did something big for him. I got him a really nice show, and so now he owes me a Broadway show. But it was wonderful. We had in March, we showcased the depth of the music department through our string band and choral festivals. The performances reflected relentless dedication of both our students and faculty. I happened to attend the band festival, and with Ms. Finnegan and Mr. Severson and the student teacher that was there, it was just amazing to watch the 6th grade through the high school work out their music together. The level of music was so high, you felt like you were definitely at a professional concert, and Mr. Severson and Ms. Finnegan just did an amazing job. They really did. Our high school choir recently returned from Tampa, Florida, where they served as an exceptional ambassadors to the Plain Edge community, performing for new audiences and honing their craft on a national stage. We have the Tri-M recital coming actually tomorrow, March 11th. And then Frozen Junior is going to be a production at the middle school this weekend, actually, March 13th and March 14th. I believe there's an evening on the 13th and a matinee and an evening on the 14th. Tickets are currently available on the district website, and my understanding is the high school will be putting on a production of The Hunchback at the end of this month, and that'll be more. I can talk more next time. In athletics, we have Wrestling Legacy. Congratulations to senior Devin Downs, our 2026 New York State Division I wrestling champion. Devin's career includes 3 state titles and over 200 wins. We look forward to following his continued success when he competes at the University of Maryland. That's quite a big testament to him. Championship basketball, well, I was at those games. Our girls varsity basketball team secured the Class A National County Championship after a thrilling victory over Floral Park. They compete for the Long Island Championship tomorrow, March 11th at Stony Brook. They're an amazing team to watch. They are like little gnats all over the place, and nobody can catch them, and they continue to look really nice too, by the way. Every single time they take pictures at the end of it, they don't even look like they're sweating, but they were. They bounce, they get banged into by bigger girls than they are, but they are amazing. Their coaches, I have to, really, they work as a team. There's no ball hog, everybody's passing it around. They're very supportive of each other, so it was really impressive. And everybody else saw that as well. And then we have Senior Victoria Perillo will be going to states for bowling this upcoming weekend. For track, we have County Championship Nicholas Ramori, who's one of our best buddies also, placed first in weight throwing. Jessica Cañaro placed first in triple jump, setting a school record. And Michael Saperstein, Jared Ryder, Robert Salem, and Aiden Ryan placed third in the 400, in the 440 meter relay. Program expansion, we're proud to launch an inaugural season of high school girls golf this spring and further expanding the competitive opportunities available to our female student athletes. And then back to our best buddies in our Challenger basketball. Our team hosted a high energy home opener recently. The presidents of the Elementary Best Buddies Club underscored our district-wide commitment to inclusion, sportsmanship, and just working together. The next home game is March 12th at 4:15, and they are really worth seeing. And what's so beautiful is that our championship team, basketball girls team, is always down there, giving them a lot of confidence and giving them, some good feedback. And they love being there, and the kids love having them. So as we close, the achievements for tonight that I shared tonight, from the National Merit Finalists to the County Championships, are not accidental. They are the direct result of strategic investments this board and our community have made in our students. And as we finalize and we listen to the budget, the 2026-27 budget, our priority remains clear: maintaining the planned advantage by protecting our core academic programs and our extracurricular activities while remaining fiscally disciplined. We look forward to our upcoming budget presentations, where we will learn further details about how these resources will continue to empower every student to reach their full potential. And I would like to say that on the agenda here, it says that we were going to have a capital improvements conversation with Michael Marks from the Mark Design Studios. He had a conflict this evening, so he'll be here Thursday, March 12th, to give his presentation on our future capital improvements program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Muscarella. I'm going to turn it over to our student representative, who's new face, Ms. Peterson. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariana Peterson, and I'm the Vice President of the Senior Student Council. Today I'm standing in for Leah, so bear with me. To begin at Johnny Strauss Elementary, in honor of Valentine's Day, all students were treated with an amazing dessert spread by the PTA. It was a sugary delight for eyes and the taste buds. West also celebrated PSI Love You Day by decorating rocks with kind messages, which will be displayed come spring. The Student Council President, Olivia Marziliano, had the entire school help her make paper chains with messages of kindness that were also displayed around the building. The fourth graders recently took a trip to Raynham Hall, where they took a trip back in time to learn about the American Revolution. They were fascinated to see the artifacts from so long ago. Last Monday, kindergartners celebrated Dr. King's birthday and were amazed to discover that he turned 120 years old. The Plainedge Perk also opened for the second time this year. Student council members teamed up with Mr. Query's students to run a delicious cafe selling coffee and snacks. The entire staff loved it. Finally, this week kicks off for this Johnny West. The theme this year is reading is a team effort. We were looking forward to many events that the PTA planned for them. At the middle school, the robotics team finished in 4th place among more than 35 high school teams that they competed against in the Long Island Championships on March 1st. This is quite an achievement, and they are so proud of the dedicated team members comprised of 13 7th and 8th graders, led by Mr. Blog and Mr. Peach. The middle school production of Frozen is this weekend. Drama Club is so excited to put on the show, and performances are Friday night at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Now for the high school updates. The Best Buddy hosted their fashion show on February 13th. The Best Buddy and rhythm movement classes put in a lot of time and effort into the little details from the camera decor to the runway outfits. The show was almost completely sold out and everyone who attended had an amazing time. Tuesday Lucky Day was also on February 13th. The school was decorated with all shades of purple. There were hearts hung up everywhere that were decorated by the students in advisory. Each heart contained encouraging words that made people smile all over the school. There were 2 tables set up in the commons. One was the National Honor Society selling Hershey Kiss goodie bags, and the other were the people running P.S. I Love You, letting people decorate even more hearts and rocks. Many students took advantage of this, writing little messages and giving them to their friends and family. For an update on junior prom, the student council had to decide between having a prom court or investing in centerpieces. They ultimately decided to go with the centerpieces because they want their senior prom to be a little more memorable. The color scheme they went with is white, gold, and green. Earlier today during advisory, the seniors had their senior breakfast. At the breakfast, their superlatives were announced. Seniors celebrated their awards with bagels, juice, and their friends. Also during advisory, the 9th and 10th graders filled out a survey reflection on the Battle of the Classes experience. They will report about the things that they really liked and disliked. Their feedback serves as a good way to make Battle of the Classes even better next year. Speaking of Battle of the Classes, the high school held their Battle of the Classes on Friday, March 6th. Sophomores sold blue t-shirts for their grade to raise money for their class. Each grade had an amazing time dressing up for Spirit Week and attending the event. Students participated in all types of activities from K-12 to K-5 knockout. The classes had fun representing their grades, bringing spirit and energy that elevated everyone's experience. The juniors won, and with the sophomores, seniors, and freshmen coming in so close. Coin Wars ended Wednesday, March 4th. The coins counted as a positive points towards their team, where bills can be placed in other grades boxes to negate their points. Sophomores won the wars and received points towards Battle of the Classes. For the updates in sports, senior Devin Downs won his 3rd state championship recently. The girls varsity team, basketball team, won the county finals 48-28. That's their 2nd time winning counties in 5 seasons. They are now moving on to the LIC tomorrow at Stony Brook. Victoria Pearl will be going on to Stateswood Bowling this upcoming weekend. And lastly, for track, at the county championship, Nicholas Remore placed 1st in weight throwing. Jessica Pinheiro placed 1st in triple jump, which also set a new school record. Michael Saperstein, Jared Ryder, Robert Salem, and Aiden Ryan placed 3rd in the 4x400 meter relay. For the music department, the Spring Band Choral Festivals took place last week into this week. The 8th graders were able to come up to the high school and practice their pieces with older kids. They got to later perform as one during the festival and show what they have learned. Each concert was amazing, with all people over the community uniting as one to listen to the students' hard work. At the String Fest, a raffle was held to raise money for the orchestra trip as well as the Dippin' Tots show. Furthermore, the Triumph recital is tomorrow, where strong musicians get to play their NISBA pieces to get any nerves out of the way before this weekend. NISBA is this week on Friday, March 13th and Saturday, March 14th. NISBA is an organization where students from elementary school through high school perform to get judged on solos, ensembles, and sight reading. NISBA has always been a good way to improve musically, and all students participating are excited to show their talent. Coming up at the Art League of Long Island in Deer Park, the Go 8 Art Show for Advanced Placement Art and Design students on Long Island will be taking place. Sabrina Knott, Jeff Yam, and John Rickey have been entered. These successful students will be able to display their artwork with other students across Nassau and Suffolk counties. The art department also held the art supervisors show last Sunday. All 3 teachers put in 3 students each. Upon the student chosen, Kyla Bronski won an achievement award and a monetary award. The whole art department sent the student work from kindergarten through 12th grade. Ashley Chen, a 10th grader, was sent to Huntington High School of Fine Arts, where she participated in a live figure drawing class. She won 2nd prize of $1,500 towards classes at the school. The English Art Honor Society was able to provide donations of 90 soldier sacks for the Viennese Army. Because of EHS's hard work and generosity, these bags were delivered to pediatric and emergency departments and inpatient units at Cohen's Children's Medical Center in NYU Langone, Long Island. They will be given to kids who are in the hospital during really scary or long days. Each bag helps bring comfort, distraction, and a reminder that people in their community are taking advantage and cheering them on. Mr. Buckley would like to thank all EHS members and give a special thank you to Aaron Ludwig. The March School Day SAT will be held on Wednesday, March 18th on Blue Book. This SAT was open to just the senior class, where 147 students registered. There have been free SAT and ACT prep classes, preparing students for the exams since January. There was a required advisory meeting earlier today for all students registered. During this meeting, the guidance department prepared students Chromebooks for testing and reviewed important test day information. In addition to this, March 23rd is the College and Career Fair from 7 to 8:30 in the gym. This year, we'll be welcoming over 90 colleges and vocational institutions, our largest and most diverse group yet ever. We'll be holding breakout sessions, sharing advice for prospective college athletes, students with disabilities, and those looking to go directly into a career after graduation. The fair also coincides with our college awareness week at the middle school. We have a full and fun and exciting events planned for all students and faculty, including visits from our current seniors who will be reflecting on their own pathway to college and provide advice for their younger students. Studying for AP exams has officially begun. AP review classes begin this week to help students prepare for the exams. This concludes the updates in all 5 schools. Thank you all and have a good night.
Okay, thank you so much. Great job. Moving on to routine approvals. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2026 Board of Ed meeting? Mr. Sachi, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
7 in favor, motion passed.
Do I have a motion to approve warrant reports 79, 81, 82, 83, 85, 86, 87, and 88? Mr. Marcy, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
All in favor, motion passed, 7.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report, January 2026? Mr. Howard, second. Mr. Marcy, all in favor?
All in favor, 7 votes, motion passes.
Okay, moving on to discussion and presentations. Update on the 2026-27 budget.
Take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, everybody. Sorry, my back is to you. We are in March now. This is what we refer to as March Madness. We will have several meetings over the next few days. As you can see, there are a number of presentations for this evening. We are going to give you an update of where we stand in the budget fiscally. Peter is going to review the tax cap calculation, always a eye-opener. And then Mr. Sachs is going to present, as well as Brett is here.
Mr. Prochaska.
Yes, Mr. Prochaska is going to present as well. Thursday, we'll be back for 2 more presentations, and then in the end of March, we will have a few more for you. So why don't we move on to where we stand in the fiscal planning. As we ended the February meeting, we were up to a 4.74, actually down to a 4.74% increase year over year. We have gone back to our calculations, and now as of March 10th, we have made the following reductions in the budget. There was a change in BOCES administrative fees being charged. We took a fine tune to the Charles Shorting budget. We've also looked at reducing our capital expenditure. And at this point in time, we have specific known retirements that will be coming up at the end of this year. So that allowed us to make some changes in staffing. And as well, we have moved some of our staff that will be covered in our federal grants out of the general fund and into the special aid fund. So those changes in this third draft have accounted for a little over $1 million reduction in our expenditures. So we are now at a 3.76% increase year over year. Any questions? Okay, we will continue to refine.
That's all right.
What? Oh,
Still room for further reduction, I think.
yes, we will continue to refine our budget.
This time last year, I was panicking.
Up and down.
Yes, yes, doesn't always go down.
Okay, so this year's maximum tax levy is 2.14%. The calculation that we did for the tax levy is based on an inflation factor of 2%. That's where the 2% tax cap comes in. The actual inflation number was 2.63%. And we have a tax base growth factor of 0.3% that accounts for new construction within the district, as well as home improvements. And then we're going to talk about some exclusions that we have: building aid, debt service, capital projects, and pilots. So this is the actual calculation of the tax cap. We start out with last year's tax levy of $71,261,000. We multiply that by the tax base growth factors, which is 0.3%. We add last year's pilots, and then we subtract out the capital exclusion from last year. That comes to the adjusted per year tax levy. Allowable levy growth was 2%, as we already discussed. And then we take out our projected pilots. For this coming year, you see there was a nice increase in our pilots, about $150,000. We have a carryover from last year, which helped to increase the maximum tax levy. That's because we levied less than we were able to levy last year. And then we come down to, this is important. We no longer have a capital exclusion going forward because our revenue that we're receiving from building aid and transportation aid exceeds our associated expenses, which would be debt service and bus purchases and transfer to capital. And I'll go over that in a little detail on the next page. But the maximum increase in tax levy is $1.5 million or 2.14%. This is the capital exclusion detail. You can see last year we had debt service. We had capital expenses of almost $2.7 million, and we had exclusions of almost $2.5 million, which gave us a capital exclusion of $200,000. This year, if you look on the right-hand side of the schedule there, you can see that our capital expenditures are less than our aid. So we have no exclusion going forward. That's not a problem because I believe the only thing that affects you in this calculation is the change from year to year. So if going forward, I expect that our aid that received building aid is going to go up and our exclusions will remain the same. So as long as the equation is 0 to 0, you're okay in this calculation. It was actually a good year for this to happen because we had the carry forward from the prior year. This is a graph of CPI used in the budget, meaning the 2% maximum or the lesser of 2% or the actual inflation factor. If you look at the last 5 years, the actual inflation factor has been 22%, 22.4% versus the 10% that we've used in the calculation of the tax levy. Just showing that we've lost ground in terms of inflation and that we haven't been able to pass through into the tax levy. This is actually the CPI, the inflation number compared to what we've levied. Even more interesting is that the inflation number was, again, 22.4%. But our levy, if I include the 2.14% maximum this year, would have only been 7.34% over those same 5 years. This is the proposed executive budget. For state aid, you can see we have a nice increase in state aid of $2.4 million approximately. And also you can see that we have some pre-K aid going up. They're now going to give you $10,000 per student as opposed to $5,400 per student. That doesn't impact the general fund. The pre-K program is accounted for in a different fund that's not voted on. Last year, we updated you. I just wanted to give this to you early on. Teresa and I did a quick calculation on what we expect the revenues to be. We're coming up with about $106 million of actual revenue. That includes a 2.14% increase in the levy. If you if you compare that to the current budget we're at $112 million. That's a $6 million shortfall between revenue and expenses. We have a current applied fund balance of $4.7 million. That means that we would have to increase the applied fund balance $1.3 million. These are your various tax levy options, starting at 2.14%, goes down to 0. Obviously at the board's discretion, and it shows what the impact on the applied fund balance would be as you go out. Starting with the $6,081,000 and going down to $7,006,000 if you didn't have any tax levy increase. Those are your options or anywhere in between 2.4 and 0 are the board's options. Fire away.
When you talk about the capital exclusions, that's not dollars, that's the calculation, right?
Well, those are based on dollars. It's based on debt service, actual debt service that we make. It's based on bus purchases.
But the actual state aid for capital, for the projects you've done, that's in there. That's in there.
It's one of the factors.
That's one of the
Yeah,
factors.
building aid is one of the factors that contributes to the calculation.
You still get the 2-point-something million dollars.
Right.
It's one of the calculations. Is if you have a shortfall if your expenses are greater than your revenue, you get an exclusion on the tax cap.
So what's being recommended at this stage so far with the projected expenditures is an increase in fund balance contribution of 1.3 million, is that?
I don't think we're done with the process yet.
Okay.
I'd like to see how low we can get the budget. I'd like to get it more in line with where we've traditionally been.
We'll list a little more, I guess the next rendition of the budget, we'll talk about the revenues again?
Yes,
All right,
we have a revenue presentation in April.
Yeah.
April.
Okay.
This was just a preview. So you're there where you
It's not
are.
time to.
But revenue's gone down for 2 reasons over the prior in 2 categories. Interest income, we were making a tremendous amount of interest income, not this year, the prior year. And I think I mentioned, you don't want to build your budget on interest income because sooner or later the rates come down and you get nothing. And then the other area was special ed revenue, which is tailing off, because we're getting overcrowded with our own students. We don't be willing to take more students in.
So we're taking in less tuition.
Outside students, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back of our mind till the next revenue projection. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Next up is facilities.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm happy to be here tonight to talk to you about the 2026-2027 facilities budget. If I need to be a little louder, please let me know. I'm just a little hoarse. I apologize.
Microphone over there, Brett.
Grab the microphone.
Okay, so our daily mission, as always, we provide a safe, clean environment conducive to educational and community activities at the lowest possible cost. There we go. So some of the points of pride, obviously every year we do a lot of different things, different areas. We completed out what they call the energy performance contracts, a couple things. So over at the middle school, we actually installed a hot water heater. What's interesting about that is we've always run 2 large boilers the entire summer just for hot water. So to be able to shut those down and go with a hot water heater is much more efficient. We also did some automation, getting rid of all the pneumatics is kind of finished with that. In the high school, in the psych suite, we did an upgrade, floors, paint, doors, walls, ceilings, etc. What you'll see later on that I found really nice was that I've got a very talented team that did most of the work in-house as opposed to bringing people in. In Schwarting, again, same thing. We did what they call an OTPT, occupational therapy, physical therapy. A lot of the work, most of the work was done by our team in-house. In Schwarting, we did a staff bathroom upgrade. What I also found kind of fun with that one is the very first thing that someone brought to me when I started here 5 years and change ago was these bathrooms are horrible. and they were finally done. So that was just completed this year. The gymnasium renovation, you probably remember that from last year. I did throw it back up here, and the reason being is that we were unsatisfied with the work and actually redid it. So the whole floor got redone. We painted the ceiling, some of the things to close that out. High school branding and directional signage, you'll see that, the Lead with Pride that you see on the stairs and throughout the main offices and things like that. We didn't do that initiative, that was actually Lauren, but we helped to kind of get it set up and put up. Middle school turf fields, the good news, they actually were back there today. So from what you saw before we left and got this 2 feet of snow for the last month, they're moving and they're moving fast again. They want to have everything greened out, they call it by the end of this week, and then start the inlays next week. The HERA, that's our asbestos survey. So every 3 years is a triannual, which basically goes back to the drawing board and redoes the entire thing. Every year we do a refresher, but every 3 years is a complete new one. Obviously, you'll hear more Thursday about the district-wide building condition survey and what that will drive in regards to capital projects and such. Music suite basically finally finished out. Library upgrades, another topic that's that we could touch on. So we actually got the fire marshal went in, and Schwarting as well as West are open. East Plain is just getting basically a box to bump up the fire system. That's going to happen this week. And the middle school right now, they're going to start on the flooring. They're programming tomorrow. They're starting on the flooring Thursday, be done by Friday. On the 18th of next week, they'll be putting in the furniture with WB Mason. So that's moving along. New flooring and paint in the middle school main office. Again, a lot of that was done in-house. We actually have a painter on staff. Middle school also, if you went by recently, the whole facade, if you look at it, it's all clean. So all of that black that you used to see, we power washed that off. You know about the new playground equipment and turf at West and Schwarting. And we completed a migration out of school dude into what they call master library, which is actually tied in with our systems. And as usual, I just throw in some slides to kind of show, I'm sure you've seen the music suite, came out beautiful. As I mentioned, this slide was in there last year, but we figured we'd reintroduce it knowing that was redone. So the libraries as they stand today, that's specifically a Schwarting right there. And middle school turf field, it's actually a lot further along than this. This was done right before we got the snowstorms. Unfortunately, we had one big storm, it all melted, and then the very next day we had another storm. So they're probably looking 3 weeks or so to finish that one out. Playground equipment, you've got all the new turf up in the top left, that's Schwarting, top right is West, and then middle school down on the bottom. This was the middle school. So if you look up top, you can see all of the black runoff where all the water stains were. And then on the right is where it's been done. So this is that OTPT room. So we actually had, our guys did everything really except for the padding and the floor, but all the ceiling tiles, the lighting grids, all that stuff we actually did in-house, the electric. That's the main office at the middle school. Again, same thing, we had the carpeting done, but we really did the rest of the work in-house. And this was upstairs, up in the high school psychology suite. And again, John Kern, who's my lead maintainer, he's a very, very talented individual. He did all the framing, the walls, the ceiling grid, the lighting, and it really came out great. So if you had been in there, I'd say a year or so ago, it was a dingy, just gloomy, very not nice place, and it's completely changed over. And I threw this in there, we had a heck of a lot of snow. So that was literally the way it looked, the last time we were here.
Is that the garbage truck that got stuck in the snow?
That's the garbage truck that got stuck in the snow right in front of our school. They had another garbage truck come to pull him out, and he got stuck.
Oh my gosh.
So historical perspective, in 2025, 2026, we were at 4,624,738. For this year, we're at 4,768,000. It's a year-to-year change of 143,000 and change for 3.1%. The biggest driver of that is replacement of vehicles that were excised. It's about a third of it. And we're about 7.2% of the overall budget for the entire district.
Right, that includes salaries. That was a change from the graph last year. Those numbers include the salaries
Oh, it does?
associated with it, yeah.
Last year, I think we showed 4%, but with the salaries, it's up. So here's our operating budgets. For this year, security is 1.1 million, utilities are 1.539, salaries 3,300,000, and then other costs, which is all the contractual things, everything from the HERA surveys to fixing things. Total budget of 8,068,882. So these are some of the previously approved projects that are in motion or coming into motion. So district-wide, we've got some monies to look at the nurses' offices. That's something we want to do in-house because we can get a little more bang for the buck. We have the high school tennis courts, which, as I understand right now, they've been getting the drawings and everything over to the engineers over with Michael Mark. Same with the locker room HVAC. Those two are tied. Generator project is with LED and PSEG in their planner right now to see what they can do. The window upgrade, I believe that needs to be bid. The restroom upgrades, that just went back from the district to Michael Mark so they could file with SED. Shorting Flower Road really needs some work. That has to be rebid. And then there's the west at Shorting Door and middle school music wing. So we have quotes for all of those. Those are actually tied to the playgrounds for state aid. And that's kind of what I've got, unless you have some questions.
The window upgrade continuation, that's the high school?
Yes.
I thought that was bid out last year.
It was, so it's not complete. There's still more windows that have to
What I
be
was
done.
understanding was that it was bid out, it was a little higher than we thought, and that's why I continued the project.
Right.
So we're bidding for the continuation?
Continuation,
To
correct.
finish-
In
to finish the
this
project.
year's proposed projects, we'll be asking for more money to complete the project at the high school.
Thank you.
Michael Mark comes in on
Understood
Thursday.
that. No.
Can you go back to the projects in motion? Just like, I know there was a lot of movement on the generator project. Can you just talk through that a little bit?
Well, I guess they were trying to figure out, number one, with the monies that we had, can we do the project? We looked, could we stop the generator? Could we go with a smaller generator? Right now, because of the pit that initially PSEG wanted us to move out and put a fire blast wall and such, we were looking at other options. So LEB is working with PSEG with the planner to see what options we may be able to do within the budget that exists.
We did look at reducing the size of the generator,
Yeah.
but we concluded that it was easier to light up the whole bus with the power as opposed to picking circuits throughout the district.
Plus being like the one side of the circuit panel.
Right, to bring in, to light up the whole panel.
Don't be talking about electric buses.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
The other piece of it was that we're looking to abandon the 120 coming in and just feed off the 480 and have a step-down transformer that, which would eliminate the need for the above-ground transformer. So we're looking at both PSE&G to approve it, as well as an electrical engineer on our needs to say if we have enough power coming in on the 480 lines.
Sounds like there's a couple good solutions there.
Yeah.
Bring that to a close, hopefully.
It seems like a lot of work has gone into, for my case, a little too much, taking away human resources away from what they should be doing and focusing on this project, but it is what it is. It was passed already, so unfortunately it's diverting all your attention away.
You're referring to the generator project?
Generator, right, yeah, it seems like a lot's going on, so it's taking away a precious resource from you guys doing your job that's intended to be done. So it's unfortunate, but it's gonna be nice to have it, I guess, yeah.
What about the snowplow? Did they get to use it the quad?
Yes, we've got two of them, actually.
Oh, we have two now?
We have two, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have two quads and we've got one gator with a plow. So definitely helps out. Yeah, does the same job in a tenth of the time. So
Awesome.
I had a question about, the PTA recently reached out about the shorting blacktop where the kids play. I guess with the snow over the winter, it kind of isn't level or surface. Is there a way that we could analyze that and make sure that it's safe for the kids when they're playing ball and whatnot?
Absolutely, he'll take a look at any repairs
So if we can
and
bump that, maybe when you do your pavement, project over there, we can look at that too.
absolutely.
So to bring it up, Kat, it's a good catch. Playground equipment, we routinely hear Schwarting is looking for more. Is that built into this budget too? Because they're looking for appropriate equipment for the.
Probably let
the kids?
Pete talk to that, I think, right, Pete?
So as part of the libraries, I think Mr. Prochaska shows that we have to purchase doors.
Yeah.
So that's in with the group of the playground equipment. If there's any funds left over, I can divert that to purchasing playground equipment. I have to look at the POs tomorrow to see how much money would be available for that.
Would you say in progress and in discussion? Would that be the best way to describe it?
Yeah, I think we have the quotes already, don't we?
We had one for 50, one for 100, and one for 150. It's a different
You know which one?
sizes of
I know which one you
Okay, the library looks nice. It was very nice. Just appears to have less books in it. So I know it's not under your purview, but I think something maybe we could have some type of librarian presentation. I'm not sure. To me, it looks like less inventory. Is that
No,
not
actually,
the case?
They're putting it away right now. So they're midway of actually putting the books back onto the shelves.
Okay, so that picture is not a complete.
Correct.
Okay, I got you.
Correct.
Probably not the whole library.
Okay, this is just a snapshot in time before it's okay. All right, just want to make sure that nothing's being
No, I was just after that.
taken away. No, that's good. Power washing, I haven't seen it in person or inspected it myself, but from the picture, it looks like it's gonna be great, so I'm gonna enjoy that. A little work from the genies, that's good to see. Working playground. All right, and then comments, just more, I would like to see on this presentation in the future, more itemization of how much things are costing, broken down to another level. So, you did break it down security, utility, salaries, but, as me as an accountant, I'd like to see more slides with numbers, what things cost us. The other costs, 2.1 million, so I am trusting that those are gonna be put to use without seeing any type of breakdown. But, in the future, I'd like to see a breakdown of 2.1 million I'm authorizing for other costs. Service contracts, products that attest our water for such and such amount, and the other testing that has to get done.
The blood testing definitely falls in there, which if anybody looked at Newsday, we actually came up with 0. So that was definitely a good thing.
The hair testing, how much that's gonna be. So yeah, just to my taste, I like a little more breakdown on the presentation, so. Just
I opened that Newsday article with fear and panic.
So did I.
Please don't let my kids and my friends' kids be drinking lead and then great job on that. Great job. That goes back a lot of time. I mean, I know that's something you got to stay on every year.
It's an annual thing. Every time a new outlet comes online, we have to test it. They did make things a little different this year. So it used to be 15 parts per billion. That was the limit. They reduced it to 5, but they also changed things where I don't, for example, have to test a sink in a bathroom because you're not going to drink out of it. You have to label it as non-potable, but you don't have to worry about that one. So it's a good exercise to kind of get everything going.
My kids only like water from the finest spring of finest garden. But no, I know the state made that way more difficult. I don't think that was a bad decision, quite frankly. And I know that's put a lot of stress in some districts. I'm glad to see it.
The only thing is that the limits are lower here than they are in the house.
Way lower, yeah.
Way lower.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how they got there. I just, and they drink more water at home, I assume. We boil a lot of pasta at home. But
I live right over the plume, so that's my words.
Water, yeah. Well, anyway, we're doing good with that.
There's actually some districts that the water coming into their facilities above the allowed levels, that they have to reduce everything. So we've been fortunate that that's not the case here. We've had to remedy some outlets, but not that many.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anytime.
Next is health, physical education, and athletics.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me to discuss the health, physical education, and athletics and the fitness center budget. We're going to start with a historical perspective, asking for an increase of about $54,000 from last year to this year. The major budget drivers that we have are our BOCES services, our athletic equipment, our equipment for phys ed, health, adaptive PE throughout all 5 buildings, the supply for athletics, PE, health, and adaptive for all 5 buildings, always replacement, repair, reconditioning, purchasing of safety items and uniforms, and our athletic trainer cost is going to be a huge driver this year. When we break it down, our equipment budget is increasing, and it's increasing by a small amount. The items that come out of that are purchases of new AEDs, purchases of football helmets, lacrosse helmets. We're trying to purchase a new volleyball system. Our baseball and softball home run fence always needs pieces every year. We are trying to purchase a cross-country track tent that we haven't purchased for about 20 years. So we're trying to spread it around a lot of our programs. Our materials and supplies, that's kind of what you see at all times. The balls, everything we use, it's always being increased, as you guys know, at home. Contractual is our big one. Contractual, the biggest driver of this is the athletic trainer cost. Our athletic trainer cost is increasing. We are putting out an RFP this year to see what our options are, but we wanted to have it in the budget so that if it increased to the possible number it might be, we're covered. Other drivers in contractual are our team and our league dinners. A big one is our boys and girls bowling, our boys and girls golf facilities. Those all come out of that code. Uniforms are cyclical. We try to get teams new uniforms about every 4 years. There's new options. So some of our teams, especially our middle school teams, get fill-in uniforms more than whole sets. And that kind of keeps the cost normalized throughout a couple of years instead of chunks every year. Our next line is our reconditioning and our laundry. That's our football helmet reconditioning, our lacrosse helmet reconditioning, shoulder pad reconditioning, baseball and softball helmet reconditioning, and like everything else, it is increasing. The BOCES number is also a large driver of this. Our Section 11 fees have increased. Our referee fees, scheduling fees, administrative fees, everything has increased over the years. We have increased in our huddle, and we have never had enough money in this budget code to kind of fulfill this. And so it's really reallocation and a hopefully balancing out that we have enough money this year. And then our conferences and our memberships are staying the same pretty much. Program outcomes. For health, students obtain an increased knowledge of overall phys ed, physical and mental health, while creating positive attitudes. Physical education, trying to develop the essential skills and knowledge to live an active and healthy lifestyle. And for our interscholastic sports, we're trying to establish an understanding of teamwork, responsibility, commitment, time management, and all the other wonderful things that sports do teach our students. What's happening in athletics this year? As you can see, this is just a little snippet of everything. We have up there, we have community service, we have our college commitment day, we have our fall scholar athletes, which almost all of our teams in the fall and our winter are scholar athlete teams, and we do a lot of fundraising throughout the year for Dig Pink and other associations. And just like the girls soccer team, sometimes we just like to have fun. We have a lot of opportunities in our district for our middle school and our high school students. And I've broken that down for everybody. The fall and the winter numbers are actual roster numbers that we had. Our spring numbers are approximations because we haven't started yet. We have approximately 525, we call them roster spots that students participate in the middle school. It's a wonderful number. It's honestly around 45 to 50% of our students have the opportunity to participate in sports. At our high school, same thing. Our numbers are about 900 student roster spots. It's the same thing. It's about 40 to 45% of our students have the opportunity to participate in sports. We have a vast majority of a vast amount of sports in our district comparable to the athletic fields and facilities that we do have. Proposed additions. I'm going to propose a few things. Hopefully the board will approve them at some point. These are approximate amounts. They have to be negotiated with the PFT because these are not in the contract yet. The first thing I would ask for is a volleyball assistant for the boys and girls team. The approximate cost is about $6,000 per team. The majority of schools in Nassau County have a volleyball assistant. I think when I looked around and I asked to all the schools, 2 don't for volleyball for girls and 1 doesn't for boys. So it's a necessity. It's to me, it's the same thing as a basketball team or all of our other teams that have assistants. So it's a need that I'm asking for. Next would be to split up the middle school football team. Currently, we have 1 team. It is of 7th and 8th grade students together. We have about 45 to 55 students on that team. It's honestly really hard to get kids. If we split them up, it will increase the opportunities for our students to get on the field and to participate in a better manner that will help them out. The only cost really will be 1 additional head coach. We have the uniforms, we have the helmets, we have everything that goes along with it. We just need the 1 additional head coach that would allow us to split the teams up. And then a middle school girls flag football team. As everyone knows, it's kind of exploded. We have almost 50 girls out on the field right now between varsity and JV. To me, the next normal decision would be to expand this to a middle school level. And same thing, it just will allow new opportunities for our students at the middle school. The head coach approximate cost would be about $6,000. And now onto the fitness center budget. We have cut the fitness center budget a little bit. The fitness center is interesting. So and as you can see, we are saving a little money. We haven't really been through a full year cycle though yet. So I reappropriated the money that we had into the correct codes. So we all understand what it's under, but I think it's going to take another year to understand what this really monetarily should look like, and kind of work everything out within the fitness center. The good part, or the good thing is, we have seen an increase in people using the fitness center. We've increased about 15 people per night, which I know sometimes doesn't sound like a lot, but we've gone from about 30 to about 47 every night, which is a great thing. Points of pride for athletics, as everyone's discussed, we've had great success in the fall season. We've had a number of teams that made it to the county championship. We've had a state champion in wrestling, county champion in county champions in track, and now our girls obviously are playing tomorrow for the Long Island Championship, which is amazing. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their ongoing support, and if anybody has any questions.
Please.
With the middle school flag football team, did you put feelers out yet to see did you gauge interest or not yet?
We didn't gauge interest. Okay. My thought process is we've seen the interest from the high school and from other schools, and that it should be there. I can put feelers out through PE.
It might be a good idea, just to get an idea.
Yep.
I think you've been there for a little while now, so I would imagine a lot of this now is just getting a better feel for how you want to see your department run, how you want the codes, how you want the money allocated. What I think I saw somewhere in an explanation, kind of like equalizing opportunity and with the coaches and stuff to be more representative of the different teams. I guess this budget, it'd be fair to say, is kind of now a little bit of you starting to make whatever changes you expect to make as sort of the first year set.
Yeah, this budget is me trying to equalize everything, let's kind of say. And that's why I think it's a little higher than normal. And then going forward, it should be brought down a little bit. But I think in the first year, with football helmets, with lacrosse helmets, with things that are big ticket items that were bought all at once, now the point is to spread things out over the years so the budget looks continuous and doesn't have ups and downs.
Right, and that's one of the main budget drivers, the equipment. Much like the cheer uniforms for the middle school cheer team, it seems to be a large number, but it's a one-time expense every however many years. And it kind of allows you to level that out and looking at, you're listening to the description, I don't mean to jump on your question.
Oh, good.
But listening to your description of the budget driver with the equipment, it sounded like similar. One-time expenses right now that we'll have to revisit at some point down the line, but that number isn't as shocking when you consider the lifespan of the piece of equipment. It's whatever amount of money, but we'll get 10 years use out of it, or 8 years, whatever the recommendation is.
It's the lifespan of the equipment, and it's also the price of some of the equipment now is through the roof, truthfully. So yeah, and it's kind to normalize it over 10 years instead of being chunked out. Yeah.
Yeah, question. So middle school football, has that always been 7-8? I guess this is the first time you're breaking it out, I guess?
Yes.
Is that, okay, and you believe because there's so many kids participating?
So all the sports dictate how students can participate. And most sports in middle school have an AB system, which allows you to get more students involved. Football does not have an AB, and football goes by ability because they're worried about safety and health. So when we play another team, we might have 55 kids on a team, but only 24 are seeing the field because you just can't get them involved enough due to our team and how many students we have, and due to the teams that the other teams are putting on the field. If they're putting their 8 kids out there, it's not really appropriate for us to put a C team or a D team or get all of our kids involved due to safety. So this will allow us to play other teams of our ability with a lower number and get more students involved.
Are there comparable 7th grade teams out there to play with the 7th grade teams?
It's about 50-50. About 50% of the teams are 7th and 8th combined, and about 50% of the schools are split.
So now going forward, when we approve this, our kids will be playing just 7th graders and just 8th graders?
Yes. Yep.
I believe when I was in middle school, it was one team, everybody played on it, 7th and 8th. So this is our first big split. Okay.
Yeah.
And and with regards to the fitness center, I guess the policy, weekends and breaks too. I think people are questioning, is it open during winter break and spring break? Is it?
Yep.
It's open.
We almost never close it.
Still same.
As long as we can staff it, we almost never close it, except for obviously holidays.
But like spring break coming up, is that going to be just at night?
It'll be open unless there's a federal holiday in there.
Okay.
Yep, weekends it's open.
Weekends. Thank you very much.
Sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, just want to make a few comments, just inform people of certain conversations and stuff in case anyone was interested. With respect to the Long Island Championship, there were 2 points that I think we tried to address. One was possibly getting a bus of students out there. Obviously, we don't have the equipment, unfortunately, so couldn't get the students bused over there to it. The other thing is, it's kind of upset with the start time that the Section 8 and Section 11, whatever heads are. And then when I looked at all the start times of boys and girls, I was particularly upset that our girls were stuck with 3 o'clock slot instead of like everyone else had 5:30 or 7:30. So I'm hoping that maybe you could reach out to whoever's in head of that and just be like, and I know that sometimes it's due to lack of facilities and stuff, but maybe some foresight in that to make sure that, if an opportunity comes that, our girls can showcase, and boys, but it happened to be that it adversely affected the girls team, that they get to showcase their talent. It would be nice that it's at a time where people can come after work. So hopefully we could just raise that to the Section 8 and 11 leaders about that. The other thing I wanted to just raise is that the middle school field. I've gone back and forth with someone on questions about this. And I guess there was concerns that some changes were made. I think like any project, changes get made all the time. Obviously, we added some girls flag football lines on there, which I think is helpful and just thinking towards the future. Obviously, not a huge expenditure. One of the other things that seems to be a sticking point was the middle school lacrosse lines. And just to confirm, for middle school, they'll be able to play on that field competitively.
Yep.
Okay.
It is a legal field for middle school lacrosse. It is a legal field for middle school and high school football and high school and middle school soccer.
Right.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
Which is more than we'll play on it.
Thanks. One question. You're only asking for a head coach at middle school for football?
Yes.
No assistant?
So currently, right now, the structure is one team has one head coach and 2 assistants. when we go to 2 teams, they'll both have 1 head coach and 1 assistant.
Okay.
So that's why we only needed the 1.
I'm just envisioning all those boys on the field and one adult
no,
trying to.
I wouldn't do
So,
that.
no, I figured it was that, but I just wanted to ask.
Yep.
Joe, I want to point out to you. Oh, was there a question, Dylan?
Nope.
That the first set of plans we saw for the middle school, parents were going to be standing at the hospital watching their kids play games.
Yeah.
So that was a hard no.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, the other thing is that, I forgot about that, thanks for mentioning that.
I'll never forget that.
So basically, if people were to watch the game, they'd have to be sitting in the end zones or basically in that little grass.
Outside the fence?
Outside the fence line.
Yep.
So by bringing the field, for soccer, football, everything is regulation size, bringing it down, there's the protective netting so people don't have to catch, lacrosse ball is a heavy ball. They won't catch that with their body or their face. If you're a spectator, there'll be protective netting, so there'll be plenty of room for people to be more engaged with the game and be able to be a better spectator and see what's going on.
And accessibility. My grandfather's 97. If he wants to go see my son play a game, I can't have him standing in a parking lot watching it. To bring a folding chair and be able to set him up.
The safety has it too, because of cross park and then you have the fence.
Not a lot of room. So I think we can move on, but.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that. Thank you. I think we're good.
No, your thoughts on adding these?
Obviously, we're not voting on it, but do we have consensus to?
Yeah, if you could just find out what the desire is to have the girls play.
Well, just, Kat, I think, remember, just because we put it in the budget doesn't mean that we have to hire.
Just you could report back.
Yes.
So I would say
Joe needs to meet with.
They have to
negotiate
figure it out, yeah.
The salaries.
Yeah, do an MOU or whatever it is. Yeah.
So we'll move forward with this?
Yeah, well, I say we approach the topic.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Moving on to business. Did I skip something? BOCES. Sorry. Before that, so BOCES nominations discussions. So this is something every year that comes up. There's 2 people that we've gotten names from early on, Ms. Deborah Coates and Mr. Lawrence Greenstein. Greenstein or Greenstein? I'm not sure. But they're on the BOCES board. They're running again. I believe they're uncontested at this point. And then we have Mr. Pasquarello from Plain Edge who's looking to be nominated as well. And so I don't know if anyone has any discussion points about anything on this.
I think if I remember correctly, we could nominate 1, 2, or all 3, and it really has no effect on what the end result is. As long as there's nominations, those people will be on the ballot.
And I believe there's 3 seats available, Lorraine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's 3 seats up.
I'll suggest we nominate all 3 and move on.
Yeah, so that'll be handled in the next part of the business section. Mr. Pasquarello, you want to say anything about that, or?
I'm just, there's still a vacancy on the board. I applied for it back in October. They didn't pick anybody. I think they just left it open, so, the public could vote on it, and the rest of the component districts would vote on it. So I have a shot to make it on the board. I'm looking forward to maybe representing our part of the county here and bringing some good ideas to the board. I think they need different perspectives on the board, and I think I could bring that and help it out. So,
Sure. Yeah. Great, thank you. Now moving on to business. Do I have a motion to approve items number 1 through 12? Mr. Morrissey?
Yeah, Mr. Priority, Ms. Marcy, we have a walk-on item as an addendum to the PAR, subject 1A.
Great. Do I have a motion to approve items 1 through 12 as amended? Mr. Morrissey, second. Mr. Panicello, all in favor?
7 in favor, motion passed.
Thank you. Private language. Opportunity for board members to present on attendance participation at school and other community events. Open it to the floor.
Sure. I think as come discussed before by Mr. Mascarella and our student rep, it was a very busy time. Since the last board meeting, Obviously, Best Buddies fashion show is always is a highlight. And it brings a smile to your face. I was happy to be able to attend that. I was able to make it to Hofstra for the county finals for wrestling. I saw Devin in the semifinal match, and I think I mentioned before, I can see that it's just impressive, not surprising that he's going to be wrestling in the best wrestling conference in the country, in the Big Ten. And then a couple of the performing arts events, like West Virginia concert was always well done, and the band festival was again tremendous. And as you said, to see the progression from sixth grade all the way through, and the jazz bands and the band departments does a really wonderful job with the students.
Anyone else?
Bunch of things. So I'll just mention a couple. Challenger basketball, they did something with Best Buddies where the elementary school clubs went to the high school game. That was really great. The little kids were really well behaved, relatively well behaved. And really are sort of getting it. My third grader, like, do you understand, what you were watching, what the expectation is, why it's different than maybe a varsity basketball game, and they really get it. And I know I wouldn't have in third grade, so that's a lot of great work by that club, by the people running it, to sort of just make it so they get it. And I don't know another way to say that. Sixth grade robotics I got to go to, that was wild. It was a wrestling tournament, but with robotics. I mean, it's a packed gym, and there's all these different tables, and people are cheering, and I had no idea what was going on. But it was really fun to see whatever it was happening, and people were really excited by it. You're cheering, and I thought everybody was going head to head because you have these two tables facing each other in two different teams. So I'm waiting for like a scene from West Side Story to break out, and it turns out they're just competing for a grade or a score, so it's not really a head-to-head matchup per se. The sixth grade robotics team did win an award. It's kind of more like a spirit award for how little they were able to practice with all the construction, the challenges they had to work through, and you could have won by points, but then they also do some of these different awards, and they got an award just based on, hey, you guys had to work through a lot. So looking for more great things from that, the different robotics clubs going forward. And String Festival, I think that's what it's called, right? My son plays the violin, and if you've ever seen the biggest kid in his grade play the smallest instrument, I don't know how he makes his fingers do it. But really, the fun thing about music, maybe like sports, seeing your kids read, you're fighting homework every night, so you don't always feel that progression. It's like, yeah, obviously you read, better next year, but you don't always see it as clearly as you will with music. And it was in third grade they start music. They're plucking those different strings, and it's like, we're going to politely clap, but it's a good attempt. That's what it is. And then you get to the third grade, the spring one, and you're like, oh, that kind of sounded like music. And now here we are watching 6th, 7th, and 8th graders play real music, and it's like, wow, that's improvement.
Recorder in third grade. They don't start with the strings and those things until fourth.
Listen, if I ever get a vote, we're getting rid of that recorder. Now my 5-year-old has one from I don't know where she found it, but just really a great program there.
So that is made only from fourth grade. Just think about that.
Right. It was great. So there was some other cool stuff, but those were two big ones I wanted to mention.
We have Best Buddies is my first time there. It was amazing. So I just wanted to say that it was a very uplifting night. So I love that. And also coming up not this weekend coming up, but next weekend, I see that the first robotics regional competition is going to be at Hofstra. So the high school robotics kids team 527 is going to be participating in that. So that's at Hofstra, the arena, March 18th, which is like a Wednesday through this Saturday. So I'll be popping in there a couple of times to check out how the kids are doing, and hopefully go Saturday for the big the big matches they have. So where it all comes to a big climax. So I'm looking forward to that. Coming up.
Anyone else? No? All right, I'll jump in, I guess. So I went to the string and band festivals. Both were phenomenal. Fortunately, we couldn't do the choral festival, as people know. We put out the interview schedule for superintendent, and it conflicted, so we couldn't make it for that. Went to the West End Schwarting Junior concert, also another great performance. I always enjoy going to the junior concerts at the schools. And then lastly, I happened to be near Albany and got to watch Devin actually win his third state title. So he's an impressive wrestler. I had never seen him before, but the way he was going in the first period, I thought he was going to tech the guy, and then he ended up getting him in the second. So he's a pretty special talent, obviously, and it's impressive to watch in person. So obviously a lot of heart and dedication goes into that. As a wrestler, which I know many people won't believe, wrestling at 165, I never achieved that level of success or anywhere near it, but for someone to do that, especially in a more competitive environment like it is nowadays where kids are starting to train at younger and younger ages, it really is something to behold. So congratulations to him on that. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to the next section. New business, here we go. At-large voting. I forgot who brought this up. I'll just talk to it a little bit. So right now, obviously, when people run for election, they're running for a seat, right? So this year, myself and Kat are up. So if someone's interested in challenging us, then they would run for our seat. I think that, and I don't know when this was instituted, but it feels like it's a more contentious environment when you're running against someone instead of at-large, which is to strictly, it would go to the people who get the most votes out of everyone who seeks to run. And at the end of the day, even though we're on the board, it's not about us, it's about trying to get the best people to represent the community. I think for those reasons, I forget if it was myself who proposed it or Mr. Garcia or whoever, but we are seriously thinking about switching to at-large voting, which is, I think, what Plainage was doing maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I'm not really sure, prior to that when they switched. So I'm going to open it up to the group to see if anyone has anything they want to say about it or has any opinions.
And just to be clear, this is not a decision that we make as a board. This is something that we put out to the community.
Right.
It's a referendum. They tell us, this is something that we believe is beneficial. We're not beneficial. It's not how we vote as the community.
Yeah, I really think it's time to go to at-large. So again, if there's 3 seats open and there's 4 or 40 running, you all have to make the case for why you should be on the school board. And the top vote getters for the amount of seats will be the winners. So instead of saying, Joe, I want your seat, and here's why this person's not as good, I have to sit there and say, here's why I think I'm the right person for the job. I think it makes it a friendlier environment. Look, I don't think I was the best person to run for the school board. It's just the good people, the better people, weren't willing to do it because it's not fun. It's really uncomfortable, and it's with that community group and anonymous, it's toxic. So a lot of great people are not interested in running for the school board. And if you can take it out of the personalities and the me versus you and just turn it into, here's what I want to do for kids, here's what I want to do for the schools, here's what I want to do for the community, I don't see any negative to it. The negative as a sitting board member is it might be harder to get your votes. It is a little harder because now you can't say, here's what I did and this person hasn't done anything. But we need to go back to the at-large, get this sort of more normal or normalized, and really make the conversation every year around election time. Number one, what's the budget, whether or not the community wants to support it? And number two, who do they think the best people for the job this, for the next 3-year term are? And I think that'll go a long way. So I really believe we should put this on the ballot for the community to decide. I'll be certainly vocal out there making the case of why I think it's time the community switches back to at-large voting. I think it was a real mistake to leave it. I think it's time to do it.
Sorry, I was just going to say to your point about the budget, just to circle that back. The budget tells you about your values and what you're going to look to invest in, especially for students and stuff. So that's a critical piece and component of the in terms of what our responsibilities are. So everything comes back to the students and doing what's best for them, and where you're going to invest your dollars tells you a lot about what that board thinks, where that money should be. So.
No, I could have put it better myself. I also think that it just brings us back in line, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it brings us back in line with the majority of the districts who operate on an at-large, voting system. Again, I don't know off the top of my head when, what the rationale was for moving to a seat-based system, but I just think that it, as I said, brings the tension down a little bit. Mr. Garcia did it very well as well, and just the focus on you as a candidate, why you should be on why you should be like it was vote for you.
But to be clear, the community will have the final say.
Absolutely.
So we can, we'll put it on the ballot, but the community will be the one that decides which way we go.
Yeah, I think at large is the way I feel we should go. It sets a good tone, it's more neighborly, and you're not pitting one neighbor against another neighbor. It's about, putting yourself out there and saying, hey, well, I do the best because of this, and put it out there for the public to vote on. And, and because of this format, we're stuck with me, because I was able to get in by just filling out a petition, and if nobody runs against a person, a candidate, then you're kind of stuck with that person.
I think to your point, Doug, having certain elections for seats while there's somebody unopposed, it does sort of take the opportunity for the community to vote for the best people out of it as well. Mm-hmm. And school boards, most of the county, do sometimes have trouble getting people to run, and this would make sure no matter what, there is a true voice for the community on who they want to sit on the school board. The other thing I just wanted to point out, because I bet it wasn't clear enough, any change would be voted on at the same time as the next election to go into effect the following year. So this would have no effect, unfortunately, on this year's election.
Yeah, so seems like we do have consensus to move forward with that. I'm going to reach out to our attorney and just with Carol's assistance and see what it takes in terms of next steps to get that drafted and I guess on the ballot. I'm sure there's going to be an official vote that we have to take at a future meeting, and we'll move ahead with that and see if the community agrees that we should switch it. If there's nothing else, I'm going to move on to the next section, old business superintendent search update. I don't think there's much to say on this other than we started round one interviews with all 7 candidates that have been brought forward by district-wise. And so the board's meeting with them. And at that point, we're going to then at some point move to round 2 after deliberation and executive session. Obviously, because this deals with personnel matters, all these discussions happen behind closed doors, and to protect the confidentiality of the candidates who are applying. I don't know if anyone else has anything on that. In terms of old business, my daughter, she rings through even on Do Not Disturb. Old business, I just want to, even though it's not on here, I just want to provide an update. Unfortunately, the bus and May Bus Committee, we haven't been able to have the first meeting because of the snowstorm. Actually, the day that we were supposed to have the first meeting, intro meeting, we had the snowstorm. Obviously, all activities were canceled. The next meeting, I think, was this week maybe or whatever. And unfortunately, we just didn't have people who were enough people who can make it. And so right now, I think we're scheduled for the first meeting on March 31st. So it's behind schedule from where I would have liked to have been, but we will be progressing with that. I'm going to Mike if you have anything on capital improvement.
Sure. So on the capital improvement committee, joining me will be Mr. Ponticello, Mr. Garcia. We have the people who have expressed interest through the survey. We'll be reaching out to them to fill out the committee. We're looking forward to, now that we have it, we'll have the building condition survey, the presentation from Mr. Mark on Thursday. That will inform the work of the committee moving forward. So, as discussed last meeting, my starting point of having him give the presentation and set the tone for.
Informational reports, any questions on any of the informational reports? No. All right, moving on to the public comment period, we ask that all comments please be directed to the Board of Ed President. We ask that you please limit your time to 2 minutes total, and please use the microphone and state your name. Floor is open. Okay, doesn't seem like anyone's coming up, so we have a motion to adjourn. Mr. Marcy, second. Mr. Panichello, all in favor?
7 in favor, adjournment at 8:56.
Thanks so much. Have a good night, everyone.